So this is the JBL Partybox Encore 2, and there are actually a lot of big upgrades here compared to its predecessors, both on the outside and on the inside. Back then, I thought that the original Partybox Encore was a little hard to justify because of its tiny battery and short battery life. But now, the battery life on the Partybox Encore 2 is more than doubled. So if you are looking for a super small box speaker, then let's check out the JBL Partybox Encore 2, because this thing is actually pretty sick now. So first, there's pricing, and unfortunately JBL is doing this really dumb thing again where they have the JBL Partybox Encore Essential 2, which is what we have here, because these are a lot easier to get, and then there's the JBL Partybox Encore 2, which has an extended light feature and it comes with wireless microphones, but this version is just harder to get for some reason, and I think this is super dumb. Nonetheless, the JBL Partybox Encore Essential 2 retails for $330, and the JBL Encore 2, the version that comes with 2 wireless mics, retails for $400. So if you want to pick this speaker up, it'll be linked down below, or you can always press on the YouTube shopping button, and if you want to further support the channel, then you can always pick up some merch. So first we have to talk about the design. Now the new JBL Partybox Encore 2 is actually a little smaller than the original. Specifically, the speaker is a little thinner, which I personally really like because it just makes it a lot easier to place the speaker on a shelf or table, and it weighs in at 13.5 pounds. And just like before, the Encore 2 has a built-in carrying handle, so it's super easy to take the speaker on the go with you. Now the JBL Encore 2 is rocking an IPX4 rating, meaning that a little bit of water isn't going to be an issue for the speaker. However, the Encore 2 does have a mostly plastic body, and it does have a thin middle grille on the front. So the speaker can get scratched or dented rather easily, so if you do plan on taking this speaker on the go with you, you're still gonna have to be careful. But as always, the JBL Partybox Encore 2 has a built-in light feature, which I feel looks very good. Now, just like the original, we have a light ring in the middle and there's a strobe light up top. But if you were to get the non-essential version, if you can find one, you're gonna have light bars on the top and bottom, similar to the Partybox 120 and so on. But more importantly, you have a few different lighting modes to choose from, and since this Encore 2 is using Auracast, you can also connect it to JBL's Partybox lights, which we have here, and these light bars and spotlight will match the light feature to your speaker. Now obviously you shouldn't make a speaker purchase decision because of the light feature, but JBL does have one of the best looking light features out there. It's very vibrant, dynamic, and you can now build it out with their new light products. But now let's talk about battery life, because this is the biggest upgrade here. Now the JBL Partybox Encore 2 has an advertised battery life of 15 hours, whereas the original has an advertised battery life of 6 hours. Now, I've always felt that the original Encore was difficult to justify because of its short battery life, because it wouldn't be able to last you a whole get-together or party. But with the JBL Partybox Encore 2, this speaker should be able to easily keep up with you on a single charge for a whole day at the lake, a party, or get-together with your friends. Now, this advertised battery life of 15 hours and 6 hours is with these speakers playing at 50% volume and with the light feature turned off and with the bass boost features turned off. But real-world use with the JBL Partybox Encore 2 playing at 80% volume, which I feel is a very good volume for when you're with friends and with the light feature turned on and with the bass boost feature turned on. For me, this speaker has been good for around 7 hours of playback time. And at max volume, the Encore 2 is good for around 3 hours of playback time. But another upgrade on the Encore 2 is that you can now replace the battery yourself. Now, replacing the battery on the Encore 2 isn't as easy as replacing the battery on either the Partybox 120, 320, or 520, which just have a spring door on the back so you can easily swap out the batteries. With the Encore 2, you do need a screwdriver, and this battery isn't meant to be swapped out as often as with these other speakers. But the important thing here is you can replace this battery yourself, which is going to extend the overall life of your investment. And for those curious, the battery on the Encore 2 is as big as the battery on the Partybox 120, 34 watt hours. It's just not as pretty, and it is twice as big as the original, which was 17.7 watt hours. And to charge the speaker, it charges via a double barrel AC port, and when the speaker is plugged in, you are going to get a performance boost out of it. It's going to get a little louder, and it's going to have more bass. But now we have to talk about the ports, because this is another big upgrade. Now, the The Encore 2 now has a USB-C port on the back, which you can use to charge your own devices, and you can also use this USB-C port as a wired connection. And personally, I'm just glad that JBL finally got rid of the USB-A port on their speakers and moved on to USB-C. Now, no, you can't connect a USB stick to play music off of it, but in 2025, I think that is more important to be able to charge your phone. And also with the Encore 2, it does still have an audio jack, so you can always still use it with a wired connection that way. And another upgrade here is that this control panel on the back now has a built-in LED like on the Partybox 120, Partybox 320, or Partybox 520. So it's going to be a little easier for you to see your ports input while at night. And this is something that the original Encore just doesn't have. Also, the Partybox Encore 2 has a 3/4-inch input, so you can plug in a microphone for karaoke, or you can now plug in a guitar if you want, but I think a mic for karaoke is more important. And through JBL's app, you can also go ahead and adjust your bass, or you can also, you can also adjust your treble, and you can also add an echo if you want, just so that you can hide how off key you are. But all of this has to be done through the app. Unfortunately, you can't adjust your mic settings directly from the speaker itself, like let's say on the Partybox 320. Now, with the Encore Essential 2, you can only use it with one wired mic, or you can always get JBL's Partybox mics and you can have two wireless microphones going. Now, I know JBL's Partybox mics might be a little pricey, but these mics actually do a really good job of giving you better sound quality because they do a good job of just picking up your voice, and they also don't pick up a lot of noise from you just handling the microphone, and this is actually a pretty big deal. And on the plus side, you can also use the USB-C port on the speaker to charge your mic and receiver. But keep in mind, if you were to get the Encore 2, you're going to get these wireless microphones included. And if you want to further support the channel, then check out our affiliate partner, Coinbase. I have been exclusively using Coinbase for the last 5+ years to invest in crypto, and I have had zero issues with them. And if you sign up by using the link down below, you can get up to $200 in crypto. Coinbase makes it very easy for you to buy crypto like Bitcoin, Ether, Solana, and so on, and you can now use Apple Pay. Again, thank you to our affiliate partner, and sign up by using the link down below to get up to $200 in crypto. But with all that out of the way, let's talk about sound. Regarding speaker setup, both of these speakers have a front-mount firing woofer with an exhaust port that shoots out the back, and they both have dual front-mount firing tweeters. Except on the Encore 2, they're a little smaller than on the original Encore. And like I mentioned earlier, if you were to use these speakers while they're plugged in, you are going to get a performance boost out of them. They're going to get a little louder, and they're going to have more bass. And through JBL's app, you can either choose from a few pre-made EQs, or you can make your own, and then there's also the bass boost feature. Deep is going to give you more of a kick, and rumble is going to give you more resonance. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into the sound test. Both of these speakers are playing at 75% volume. They're using their stock EQs, and we're also going to be using the Encore 2 while it's plugged in.
Stay a moment. All my walls are falling, and my heart is beating loud until I hit the ground. Will you stay around until I hit the ground?
So when it comes to sound quality, I honestly don't think these speakers sound too different from one another. They have a very similar instrument separation and openness. However, what is different is the loudness and how much bass these speakers put out. While they're both unplugged, the JBL Encore 2 gets noticeably louder and it has noticeably more bass than the original JBL Partybox Encore. And when the JBL Encore 2 is plugged in, this speaker does get a performance boost. It gets louder and it has more bass. And overall, I think the JBL Partybox Encore 2 is going to be good for like a 15-person party, and the same as, let's say, the JBL Boombox 3, but with a lot more kick in its bass. And since the JBL Partybox Encore 2 does have its exhaust port that shoots out the back, you can actually amplify the bass coming out of the speaker by simply placing it up against a wall, or even better, up against in a corner, because then this way your bass is going to get amplified because it's going to have something to bounce off of. So overall, the JBL Partybox Encore 2 does get louder and it has more bass than the original Encore because it manages to get louder when it's running off of its internal battery, but it doesn't sound all that different, which isn't a problem because the original Encore sounds good. The main upgrade on the Encore 2 is going to be max volume performance and battery life improvements. But finally, let's talk about pairing these speakers up with other speakers. Now, with both of these speakers, if you have two of the exact same speakers, then you can wirelessly pair them up and get them to play in left to right stereo mode. But they have to be two of the exact same speakers. Now, you can wirelessly pair an original Encore with an Encore 2 through the app, but they're only going to play in sync. But more importantly, the Encore 2 is now using Auracast. So like I mentioned earlier, you can pair this speaker up with JBL's new Partybox lights, so they're all going to sync up. But more importantly, you can pair your JBL Encore 2 to any of JBL's newer Partyboxes that are also using Auracast, like either a Partybox 120, 320, 520, or Ultimate, and you can pair up to 100 speakers together and get them to all play in sync. But also, you can wirelessly pair your JBL Partybox Encore 2 to any of JBL's smaller speakers that are also using Auracast, like either a Charge 6, Extreme 4, Flip 7, Clip 5, or Go 4, and again, you can get them to play in sync. And also with the Encore 2, through the app, you can still pair it up to any of JBL's older Partyboxes that are using TWS, like either an original Encore or to a Partybox 110, 310, or 710, and you can get them to play in sync. The difference here is that these older Partyboxes, you can only have a total of 2 speakers wirelessly connected to one another. Whereas with these newer Auracast speakers, you can have multiple speakers playing together. But just keep in mind, you cannot connect your JBL Encore 2 to any of JBL's older speakers that are using Party Boost. So you cannot connect your Encore 2 to, let's say, a JBL Boombox 3, a Boombox 2, or to an Extreme 3, or a Charge 5, or a Pulse 5, or a Pulse 4, or a Flip 5, or to a Flip 6. So don't ask me in the comments, I just need you guys to pay attention here. But overall, with the JBL Encore 2, you have a lot of options as to what you can connect it with. You can connect it with JBL's Partybox lights, you can connect it to JBL's larger Partyboxes, or JBL's smaller speakers that are also using Auracast, and you can even connect it to JBL's older Partyboxes that are using TWS. The JBL Encore 2 gives you a lot of flexibility, except no Party Boost speakers. But with all that being said, I am actually pleasantly surprised and impressed by the JBL Partybox Encore 2. If you need a small box speaker and a lot of bass, I think the JBL Partybox Encore 2 is the best option. The speaker sounds good, it gets decently loud, and it has a lot of bass, but more importantly, the speaker is a lot easier to justify now because it has a much longer battery life compared to its predecessor. So it's now going to be able to last you a whole day of hard listening on a single charge. I also really like that Auracast allows the speaker to connect to JBL's newer speakers, large or small, but it still has some backwards compatibility just in case you have an older Partybox. I just wish that it was easier to remove the battery on the speaker, similar to the JBL Partybox 120 or 320, but I still like that you can easily service it yourself because that is going to increase the overall lifespan of your investment. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.